In the autumn of 1949, as the shadow of the Cold War stretched darker across the world, the United States and the Soviet Union were running secret projects one after another. But among thousands of classified files, there was one project mentioned only once, and then erased from every archive it ever touched. Project Echo. This wasn't another military invisibility experiment like the infamous Philadelphia experiment. Its purpose was far stranger: to test whether objects could be pushed out of normal time and space using electromagnetic fields. And at the center of it all was what many believe to be one of the most disturbing incidents in experimental history. A train that vanished. With all its passengers. In the middle of the Nevada desert, engineers constructed a short, off-the-record railway track. It wasn't on any map. Its internal name was Test Line E12. Later, people who worked on it simply called it the Echo Line. A massive electromagnetic ring was built over the track. The theory was simple: if a train passed through the ring at the exact speed and energy level, the field would vibrate the train's physical structure just enough to push it slightly outside conventional reality. Not for long. Only for seconds. At least, that was the plan. One engineer wrote a single cryptic line in his diary. The question isn't where the train goes, but where it can go. At 4:40 a.m., the test train, codenamed Train 12, prepared for its final run. Normally, the seats would be filled with mannequins. But that day, 8 real personnel were placed inside, for observation purposes. Official records of what happened next no longer exist. But a surviving technician's notes do. As the train approached the ring, the metal began to ripple. Static covered the cameras. Radios died. The train, blurred. At 4:43 a.m., the ring activated. 8 seconds later, Train 12 disappeared. Completely. No sound. No debris. Just a faint burn mark along the rails. According to what little documentation survived, the train reappeared 5 minutes later. But it wasn't the same train. When echoes of light finally stabilized, what stood on the track resembled a collapsed, half-melted sculpture of steel. The body was twisted. Windows looked vaporized. The whole frame sagged like it had been softened and reshaped. Similar claims are made in the Philadelphia experiment. But the most horrifying part was what they found inside. The passengers. Reports describe 3 men fused into the walls of the train. 2 appearing half-merged with their seats. And 3 missing entirely, no trace, no remains, nothing. A witness later whispered. The last voice I heard said, "It was so bright in there." The biggest question. Where did the 3 missing passengers go? Some believed they were trapped wherever the train had been pulled. Others claimed the project leaders kept them hidden. And a few believed they slipped into a time gap, a kind of temporal void. But 3 years later, in 1952, something happened that deepened the mystery. A night security guard in a small town 400 kilometers north of Nevada reported seeing 3 disoriented individuals walking along the tracks. According to the guard, their eyes were dilated. Their clothes were from the 1940s. And their wristwatches had all stopped. On the exact time the experiment took place. When he tried to approach, the men spoke in perfect unison. The ring, it's starting again. By sunrise, they were gone. The report was erased the next day. The guard was transferred within 2 weeks. By early 1950, Project Echo was officially terminated. Everything was destroyed: documents, photos, tapes, all gone. But in 1999, a scrapyard worker found something in a sealed military storage unit. A warped piece of train metal with a faded plate. Echo 12, Temporal Displacement Test. No one has ever confirmed whether the plate was real. Like the Philadelphia experiment, Project Echo sits in that eerie space between myth and classified truth. To some, it's just a Cold War legend. To others, it was a real experiment the government buried as soon as it failed. And to a few, the missing three never left our world entirely. They simply walk between it. Some people in the desert claim they can still hear the faint echo of a train horn at night. As if train 12 is still drifting in and out of time.